Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. In today's video, I'm going to share with you how I went from $100 in sales to over $1,000 in sales per day dropshipping. Now in this video, I'm going to show you not only the Shopify dashboards for one site, but two, and then also I'm going to show you my ads platform to show you that I was actually spending a certain amount of money. I was losing some and then also winning, learning, figuring it out just like you do. So let's go to it. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, this was the first site that I tried. On this site, I was selling the translator earphones. Those were the viral translator headphones that were going viral on TikTok. Again, if you want to find products that work, go to TikTok, scroll on your feed and just look for products that are consistently showing up, have good engagement, have a lot of creators making them, and then on TikTok Shop are also doing well. Repurpose those, run Facebook ads, and then put them on Facebook, and then you'll run traffic to your site. Do what works. So over this time period, it was really from December 10th until December 26th, and then a little bit of inconsistency from the 15th up until the 20th. So 5 days less that I was actually running ads. I was figuring things out. This was the first test where, okay, I can see that I can sell. So I made $700 over that time period. I think at this time I was running TikTok ads. So I was making or spending a lot on ads. I would not use TikTok ads for TikTok products because people, if they wanted the product, they could just buy it straight from TikTok Shop, and it's a lot more security. So don't sell it on TikTok if it's a trending product that's working on TikTok as well. So during this time period, we did 24 orders purchased. Also, our conversion rate was 1.63 over the time span. We had 7% add to cart, 3.5% checkout, and then 1.63 completing the session or completing the checkout completely. An average order value of $28. Now, that is really important. The average order value is the key piece in going from $100 to $1,000 in total revenue. Now, that is so important, and we'll talk about that more in the next store. So this was a one product store. This one product store allowed me to really quickly put up a landing page for the product, quickly put things together and test and see if the product will work. However, that can be good depending on your profit margins, depending on average order, etc. If it's a product that you can buy more than one of, there are things that you can get around to make your average order value increase. However, if we go to site number two is where things get interesting. Now, this is over a long time span. I could really do it from January 1st until January 17th. Let's do that just for reference. January 1st to January 17th. That's 17 days, but even during that time period, there were 8 days, we'll call it, or from January 8th until the 14th, so an extra 6 days. So really 11 days where I was really running ads that I made $5,000. So in 2 weeks, I made $5,000 essentially. Now, there's a lot of testing that was going on in the beginning, and then I had consistently high, pretty much $900 days, and then I did it again, and then I'll explain this dip off at the end as well as the rest. So I did over 100 orders, totaling me over $5,000. The average order value, $46. Now, if you look at it, it fluctuates from 49, anywhere from 40. In the beginning, it was lower, and I did something to make that go up. So in the beginning, I was having average order value of 36, 28, 37, etc. Right? There was one product selling, and essentially if they bought that one product, it would be that for the average order value. Versus later down the line, I had $60 average order value, $65 average order value when I started to hone in and figure things out. So what does that mean? In this store, I was selling multiple products. If you look at the total sales by product, you see multiple products flagging in the total sales by product. My conversion rate was over 2% during this time span, and it really would be higher if I took out the gaps right here, but that's neither here nor there. I had 11% add to carts. I had 5% reach checkout, 2% complete purchase, right? Now with that, I'm going to go back and do Shopify again and again and again because I like selling. It's marketing. You get a chance to see what works, what doesn't work, and I like the thrill of going after it. However, there are some things to learn here, and I'm going to pull up my ads to teach and show you. Testing teaches you a lot. Testing allows you to really fail a lot in order to have some really big successes, right? And there was a quote I read in the book that I'm about to make a video on after this called 0 to 1. And I talk about this a lot. Just stop trying to make 10 grand. You haven't made $1,000 yet. Stop trying to make $1,000 when you haven't made 100. Stop trying to make $100 when you haven't made 10. Get the first one first. Make $1, then do that. Then try to make 10. Then try to make 1,000, 100,000, 10,000, etc. Right? So I've done $1,000 days. Great. The next one I might try for 2,000, 2,500, 5,000, etc. Don't over leverage yourself. With that being said, however, let's go into January 5th. On January 5th, we did $1,300 in sales. This is where it gets really interesting. If you go to my ads manager for January 5th, you will see we spent $233. This number right here, meaning huge return on ad spend. That means if I spent roughly 200 and some change dollars, we got close to 5 times return on ad spend. That is amazing. So I spent $233 to get back $1,300, almost $1,400 on that day. And if I'm not mistaken, on that day, I had an order for maybe $600. Now, the most important thing here is average order value. I had high average order value on these days right here, which allowed me to have higher sales. So if somebody orders, let's say 5 people order from your site, the average order value is $20. You'll make roughly $100. But imagine if the average order value was $50. You'll make $250. There's a big difference, right? And that's on the same amount of ad spend. So you want to influence people to purchase more from your site. So the biggest thing that I would say do is have complementary products or products that they will look for. Complementary meaning you can look at it in 2 ways. A product that goes with the product or a product that they would also look for if they were in the same store, right? So if you were in the clothing store, that could be a complementary shirt or jeans that go with it, or it could be earrings or bracelets that they may also buy in that store while they're there, right? Like all of it together. If someone's looking for that, they also may purchase this. Recommended products as well. So when you put all that together, you get a higher average order value and you get more sales over the time. So that's how I went from making $100, $200, $300 to over $1,000 a day. Now, like I said, this is where it gets interesting. On January 16th, I made $1,000. On this day, I was testing a lot of creatives, and I'll show you. So if we go back to our ads manager and we look for January 16th, we spent $600 and basically $50. Now, during this time period, we look at the amount spent. $150 in this ad group, $60, $70, $80, $60. I was testing a lot of different products. And inside of these products, because it was CBOs, I was testing a lot of different creatives that I scraped off the internet. Sir, all of these products sold, which is good because I was warming up the pixel. The top one was working regardless, like I had that one running. Now, also the cost per result was high. However, this bottom one here spent $125, $14 cost per result, and I had 9 results from this. But I was testing a lot of products, even in this ABO, because I wanted to see what worked and then scale that. Now, this is when my ads got taken down, right before things really started to improve. So you can't see it, but I'm about to change the date from January 16th simply to the 17th. I spent $26 on ads. $26. I had 3 orders. Now, it may show different in Shopify, but from what was captured, 3 orders. Amount spent, cost per result, $2, $3, right? Now, let's go back to our Shopify dashboard for January 17th. So on January 17th specifically, we had 5 orders at $342. $342 with an average order value of $65, a 2% conversion rate. And if you look at it, look at the time. It started at midnight. By really 3 o'clock, the ads had shut off completely. So they had only run for 3-ish hours before my ads got taken down. Now, to put that in perspective, it's not to say we would have continued at this rate. However, it is important to show you that at that time, I had a 14 times return on ad spend. Because I took what I tested from the previous day and I improved on it for the next day, and I was about to run it up. Now, I was planning to spend roughly the whole budget, meaning the limit that I had set on my account, which was, I think, $2,500. I was going to go straight to $2,500 in ad spend. And hypothetically, if I had continued on a 14 times return on ad spend, I would have made $37 that day. Now, is that realistic? No. Realistically, let's say we would have ran the same amount as the previous day, which would have been, I don't know, 6 times on ad spend, 6 times $2,500. I would have made $15,000 because of the ads that I used the previous day. I tested, I saw what worked, I canceled or paused certain ads didn't let them continue to run, but I put more budget towards the ones that were working. And then I ran that for the next day to see how that will work. And this is how it started off 3 hours in. So the moral of all of this is to say, 1, find ways to increase your average order value, typically a niche type of store, a store that allows you to sell multiple products. 2, do not be afraid to test multiple ads. Losing money is essentially what you're going to do. Don't be afraid to lose money in paid ads or even free traffic to see what works well if you've established a well enough brand. And after you test, make sure that you're looking at the right analytics to see if you're profitable. Maybe you're not profitable immediately, but you can be, especially if you increase your average order value. Something crazy to over $100 or $120 per order, which is what major sites like Fashion Nova and ASOS are doing. They have a high average order value, which allows them to make higher profit margins on the same amount of ad spend. So that's how you do it. I hope this video was useful. I hope you enjoyed it. If you want more information, more in-depth information about dropshipping, e-commerce, a tour, a guide on how you can go from point A to point B, which will work for a lot of different industries, niches, you can check the link in the description. It should be one of the course links or community links that I have put in the description at the top. But other than that, until the next video, I will see you guys.